Hi guys, Sarmad Bajwah here for my sensor module assessment calibration. I'll jump right into it by explaining the code that we have here. So we set up the connection with the Arduino, then we calibrate our MPU 6050, take into account the offset, then we start the loop. So essentially the system reads the raw gyroscopic data for the x-axis, it removes the offset, then converts it, and then integrates the angle so that we get our calibrated angle value. This section of the code is quite unique. It just means that when we rotate one direction, it's going to be positive from 0 to 180, and if we go the other direction, it's going to be negative from 0 to negative 180. So it's easier to read. And so I've got my fish set up straight. I'm gonna restart the code, and what we're gonna notice here is that it's quite a common thing with sensors that they have something called drift. So when they stand stationary for a very long period of time, the values that we get from the sensor start to drift away from what it actually is. So you can see here it's slowly drifting away from 0. And to be fair, this is quite a good drift. It's only 1/100th of a degree, and it's moving away quite slowly, so it's quite favorable for us. So I'm just going to restart the code again and just show you how what values we get. So that should be uploaded again, and it should start back at 0. I'm going to move the fish 90 degrees this way, and we can see the values that we're getting in our serial monitor are 90, and I'm going to bring it back to 0, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it the other way to negative 90, and we can see here we're getting values that are close to negative 90. So we can see here that now that we've calibrated the MPU 6050, our values are they make much more sense. They're easier for us to calculate the angle. However, that drift is still quite annoying, so hopefully in the next video, in the next module, we will address that issue. Thank you for watching.